How's it, guys? Welcome to an episode of the WM Sports Podcast. My name is William. With me, we got Emia. Emia, how are we doing today?
Hi, William. I hope you're well. I'm very excited for episode 1 of our podcast. Really excited to get this show on the road. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Premier League title race and make a combined 11 of the three teams challenging for the title. And then I think we can give some predictions for the European spots and the relegation battle and finish the episode off with some blind takes.
Sounds good, sounds good. But
I
Emia,
think, I think, yeah,
before we get started, let's talk about the Phil Foden hat-trick last night. How good is that man at the moment? Best Premier League player at the moment? What's your opinion?
Definite. No, definitely not. As a Liverpool fan, last night was a bit heartbreaking. I think it's going to happen a lot in the title race that I get my hopes up. But after John Duran equalised for Aston Villa, I really thought, you know what, there's maybe a draw on the cards here until Phil Foden stepped up with a really great hat trick. I just think if the Aston Villa wall stood a bit firmer for the first goal, then maybe it would have been a different outcome. But yeah, Phil Foden, definitely one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment. I think there were some questions about his form after the international break for England against Brazil and Belgium, where he didn't really step up at all in the absence of Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka. I think that he answered or he silenced some of his critics after last night's performance against Villa. So definitely not the best player in the Premier League at the moment, but I think it's 21 goals now in all competitions for the season, his best return yet. So definitely on the up and definitely showing that even if De Bruyne or Haaland's not in the squad, he can definitely step up to the plate and be the main man for City.
I mean, listen, De Bruyne was out, Haaland was out. Rodri was even out for some games, but he's back now. People were thinking, who's going to carry City? Phil Foden stepped up. He's never been that star guy for City. It's always been, he was on the bench. He was always, like last season, he wasn't on the starting lineup for Pep's treble winning side. It was Jack Grealish on the left. This season, I feel like Phil Foden has really matured. He's shown who he is. And I mean, he should start for England. If Gareth Southgate doesn't start him, like sometimes he never does, the team should be built around him. He should play in that 10th position for England, I believe. Bellingham can drop deeper, but I believe Phil Foden, at the moment, he's the form player of the league. Free shots outside the box, free bangers of goals, except the free kick was a bit, like you said, defense of Aston Villa wasn't that great, but Phil Foden, he's the form player of the league at the moment, I believe. But
I'm not gonna argue with you. I think definitely he needs to show a bit more composure in the big games, especially when it comes to playing for England, because as well, like we saw when City played United a few weeks back, when the game was in a stalemate, it was a tense game. Phil Foden stepped up and like swung the match in the favor of City. So I think like in the league, he has like the temperament to step up in the big occasions for City. But I just think for England as well, especially the Euros, is going to be a great indication of where his confidence is and his maturity. So I think let's start with a combined Premier League title race, 11 of Liverpool, City, and Arsenal. I think it's going to be exciting.
okay,
So,
will you give yours first? Then I'll give mine after that.
okay, I'm going to start with mine first. I think I'm going to start just with a
But
solid
wait,
four
Amy,
three
before you
three.
start, I think we're
Yes,
just going to say to the listeners, it's not about
yes,
current form, it's about the whole season's form. So there might be some
definitely.
players who are injured in this, but it's about the whole season as a combined. So not last season, only this season, but like the whole season as a combined. So yeah, you
I
can say it
agree.
was him, yeah.
I think at keeper, I think it's obvious choice between obviously Ellison. I don't think even though he's injured at the moment, I think he's by far now the best keeper in the league, in the world as a whole. So I think Ellison needs to clinch the goalkeeper spot. At left back, I'm going for a bit of an outside shout. At the left back spot, I'm gonna put Nathan Ake in there.
I
I
have a feeling
think
our
that
team might be really similar. A little bit
I
of a
think
feeling.
Nathan Ake, centre back, but left footed as well. I think City, Sinchenko, good player, but not good enough for me for
No,
the
not at
team.
all.
And then Liverpool have had some defensive issues. Robertson out for a while. Joe Gomez, what a player, stepped up,
Joey
this
G.
season. Very versatile, but not a starting left back in this team. So Nathan Ake takes the left back spot for me. Then my two centre backs, I think it's quite obviously Virgil van Dijk. I've heard some
Yeah.
shouts about possibly Ballon d'Or winner this year. If Liverpool win the treble, we'll see what happens. But colossal defender this season. And then next to him, William Saliba. I
Oh, yeah.
think A centre back pairing for the ages.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, insane centre back pairing, and then at the right back spot, this is a big one because you've got guys like Kyle Walker, even Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben White. I've gone with a
Connor
bit of an
Bradley.
outside Connor Bradley, the
Have you gone with
Northern
Connor
Irishman.
Bradley?
Connor Bradley on the right back spot.
Connor Bradley, because he stepped up.
He stepped up. Like people were like saying Liverpool have no depth in the right back spot because it's only Trent there. If he gets injured, maybe Joe Gomez, but Calvin Ramsey is always on loan, so he's not at the club at the moment. But Connor Bradley came in flawlessly, stepped into the squad. I mean, that 4-1 game against Chelsea, I think it was 1 goal, 2 assists. He's dominating. I mean, against City as well. He's played like big games now. United FA Cup, Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. Connor Bradley, for this season alone, for the step up he's made, he's in my title race combined 11.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So then moving into midfield, in the DM spot, this is also quite a big toss up between Declan Rice, Rodri. I've gone with Rodri. The only reason I've gone with Rodri is because it's like 65 or something games that he's played for City and they haven't lost while he's in the squad. I think that swings it in his favor. And I mean, even last night against Villa, scored again. He's a DM, but he pops up with huge goals, Champions League final. So Rodri in there for me as the CDM in that spot for the season. Then my two midfielders, I've gone with Ali Mack, Alexis McAllister for
Oh yeah.
Liverpool.
It has to
Started the
be.
season as a DM, but now with Endo in form for Liverpool at the base of the midfield, moved up, played in the number 10s or the more creative spot, and exceptional. I mean, assists, goals, dictating games, clearly shows why he's a World Cup winner. And then in my other midfield spot, also a lot of options here to go with. Kevin De Bruyne has unfortunately been left out for me. I just think in the season as a whole, he hasn't been. Um, he's not in the starting 11. I've gone with Martin Odegaard. I think that the way he leads the Arsenal team, always popping up with big goals, leading the team in terms of creativity, leadership. So definitely in there for me in the starting 11 for this team. Then the front line is where it gets interesting. Very, very interesting. Left wing spot. Left wing spot. I'm not gonna go with Phil Foden. I'm not gonna go with
So
Gabriel
full
Martinelli.
Foden, full Foden, not in a Premier
Phil
League
Foden's
second
not
team.
Phil Foden's not in the team at all. I know I'm gonna get slaughtered for that, but it's just
That's
not the
crazy.
way
That's crazy.
my team doesn't set up in that way, and I just think this team as a whole. If I played a different formation, maybe I could have fitted him in, but I think this is the best team that I have. So at the left wing spot, I've gone with Luis Diaz. I know, I know you're laughing. I know you're laughing, and I know he's had a few off games this season. But I mean, his work rate is immense. He always keeps
Absolute
running, and there's
title.
in the last few years, there's only 3 players that I've seen that have turned Kyle Walker inside out. Number 1 is Vinicius Junior. Number 2 is Raheem Sterling, and then number 3, obviously Luis Diaz. That game against City at Anfield, I mean, he run him into the ground. Kyle Walker couldn't touch that man. I know his finishing was woeful, but it's fine. Against Brighton this past weekend, stepped up with a huge goal, keeping Liverpool in the title race. So I think, I mean, even against Luton, and I know he's had an up and down season, but against Luton, stepped up 95th minute equalizer. And I mean, both of his parents were abducted. So I think he's had a rough season, but especially now in the run-in for the title, Luis Diaz is going to be pivotal for Liverpool, especially with guys like Diogo Jota out injured. It's going to be pivotal. Moving into the right wing spot, Mohamed Salah. Who else?
Of course. Of course.
Uh,
Best Premier
definitely
League move of
Salah.
all time. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%. I know there's a lot of people saying no, Salah overrated. I've seen quite a few comments recently saying Mo Salah is super overrated and Bukayo Saka is way better.
That's outrageous.
The returns that Mo Salah give you in a season is exceptional.
But every
So Mo
single
Salah,
season. It's every single season, same story. Gives you 20
uh,
goals, at least. A bunch
seven
of
seasons
assists.
in 7 seasons in a row now. Mo Salah stepped up, delivered. You can't. What else do you want? what else do you want from the man? And even this season, he's took up the assist numbers as well, higher up. So Mo Salah definitely in there for me. And then striker, this is a tough one. And you know what? I don't want to be biased, so I'm going to try and explain my decision. I've not gone with Erling Haaland. And I'm going to tell you now why. I've gone with big Darwin Nunez in the striker spot. I think he offers more to the game than Erling Haaland does. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I see.
Erling Haaland, great finisher. But I mean, Roy Keane recently said he plays like a League Two player. And maybe that's a bit outrageous comment from Roy to make, but I think that Haaland's overall game needs to sharpen up a bit. And you can see it against Liverpool at Anfield, Arsenal at the Etihad. Both games this season, Will Saliba pocketed Erling Haaland. He was nowhere to be seen. I mean, even Virgil van Dijk and the Liverpool defense, they kept him quiet for the whole game. So I think that Darwin Nunez was the first player in all of Europe's top 5 leagues this season to register 10 goals and 10 assists. So I know people are criticizing him this season, but he stepped up his game
Yeah,
massively.
definitely.
And Darwin Nunez, I think, links up I know it's a whole Liverpool front line, so people are going to slaughter me, but it's fine. I just think that Darwin Nunez deserves. If I want one striker in the running to make chances happen for my side, I want Darwin Nunez there, and I think guys like Salah, Luis Diaz can capitalize on the chances that he create, and then manager title running. I think it's obviously a straight shootout between Pep and Jurgen, and nostalgia kicks in here. I've gone with Jurgen Klopp, best manager in the world, in my opinion. I think that's a discussion for another episode, but Jurgen Klopp is my manager. So that's my full 11. William, let's hear yours.
So yeah, we have some differences to be fair because yeah, well, let's get into it. So obviously I went with the goalie, the best goalie in the world. I agree 100% if he's injured at the moment, but Alisson, it has to be Alisson. Like last season when Liverpool was terrible, who stepped up to the plate every single time? I mean, Alisson, great. At right back, you went with obviously with Connor Bradley. I see where you're coming from. The man stepped up like with no expectations. No one even knew what he was going to give, but he stepped up to the plate. But I went with Trent. And why I went with Trent is before he got injured, some were saying the best player in the league at the moment. I mean, Trent has came up with the clutchest moments yet against Fulham, scoring that late winner. I mean, that free kick he scored that counted as an own goal, I think, against Fulham and
Yeah,
against Man City, shushing the crowd just like that. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's a quarterback, like Kyle Walker said, he's a quarterback at right back. Trent Alexander is my favorite player in the world by far. I mean, I can't wait till he comes back. I think he should be back anytime now. For me, it's no choice. Trent Alexander-Arnold. People will say, "Oh, he's defending and whatever," but his defending has really improved this season. And I mean, what he offers you is something else. For me, it's Trent without any questions. Left
William,
back,
I have a question for you regarding Trent. Do you think, obviously, there's a lot of shouts about who's going to be the next Liverpool manager. Do you think Trent Alexander-Arnold will remain right back in Liverpool's system, or do you see him under new manager possibly moving into midfield?
see,
What if?
personally, if he moves into midfield, I won't mind because I think at midfield he will be even more dangerous than he is at right back because if you give him a bit more freedom, you allow him a bit more, you take a bit of responsibility of defending off him. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, come on, man. It's Trent. But like, I think it depends what the manager wants. It depends what the
I
manager
agree.
wants at the end of the day. And I think Trent is one of them players. He's that good. He can offer you anything. He can offer you in the midfield. He can offer you like I saw Gareth Southgate likes to play him in the midfield. He performs there. Even though it was against not the best countries, he still performed. And then on right back as well. I think people are forgetting how good Trent was in 2019. He played against Ronaldo in the Champions League final when he was 19 years old. And we could have won that game if we had Alisson back then already, and not Norris Karius. But yeah,
Uh,
my left back, I also went with Nathan Ake.
okay.
I think because it's the lack of depth in left back position, like Andy Robertson, obviously out for most season. Like you said, Joey G, but Joey G can play everywhere. You want Joey G from the bench
Yeah,
so he can come on for right back, left back, centre back, wherever. So I also went for Nathan Ake. Centre backs, without any doubt, Virgil and William Saliba. I don't think, unless
agreed.
I'm a huge fan of John Stones. I'm a huge fan of Kunate. I think Kunate is outstanding and I think he's underappreciated. But Saliba proved against me. He proved it against City, didn't he? Like coming in
I
there,
agree. I agree.
conquering Haaland, and that defense of William Saliba and Gabriel, what a partnership that is for Arsenal. I mean, it's Gabriel as well. What a shout, what a player. But Virgil, you can't leave Virgil out. Arguably, he should have won a Ballon d'Or in 2019.
Definitely.
He, like you said, Ballon d'Or shouts this year if we win the poor man's treble. Virgil van Dijk, come on. He's just Virgil van Dijk. In the midfield, it's an interesting one. Obviously, I went in the DM role with Rodri. Rodri is someone who comes up with clutch moments. He's a big player for City. Like, obviously, City had great DMs before him, but he's just stepping up to the plate. He proves every game why he's the best number six in the world. So I went with Rodri. But I also went with Declan Rice
In the same midfield
in
as
the
well,
same
both
midfield.
Rodriguez.
Same
Okay. Okay.
midfield. I think
Okay.
that defense, you don't get through the defense then if Declan Rice and team. And I think Declan Rice has changed Arsenal's play as well. I mean, Declan
Definitely.
Rice, he's a leader. He's a great player. He dribbles. I mean, he's dribbling with the ball as well. People might say he's boring, but I mean, Declan Rice, I think you have to make room for him as well in the team. And I hear your Odegaard shouts, but I think between Declan Rice and Odegaard, I'll rather go with Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is a bigger player, and I think he's a bit more. When times get tough, he'll be able to step up. He'll step up to the plate when it matters most. Where
Agree.
where we'll see it against Bayern Munich if Odegaard does the same, but at the moment I'll prefer Declan Rice. And then a man people like same shout as you, Ali Mack. Listen,
Definitely.
last year Liverpool had the worst season in a long under Klopp. Because why? Because Ali Mack, because we had no midfield. Henderson was old. Fabinho wasn't up to his good form. We had no midfield, and what Klopp did with that midfield is unappreciated. He
Definitely.
completely
Yeah.
changed the midfield, and that partnership between Ali Mack and Endo, what a partnership! I mean, come on, like Endo, I think he's a great shout for DM as well, but unfortunately, he had to come up against Rodri and Declan Rice. But Ali Mack, he controls the game. That game against Brighton, he was running the game. He controls the pace of the game. An assist against Salah, the pass he gives over the top for the through balls. I mean, Alexis McAllister is a World Cup, he's a world champion. I think that's enough said already. And he performs to a certain level. And I think he has to be in. No Kevin De Bruyne, because obviously he's been injured most season. He's not been up to his best this whole season. Maybe at the end of the season, we might have a different conversation. Have to make room for Kevin De Bruyne. But we'll see how that goes. And the front three of on the right wing, of course, Mohamed Salah. There's not an argument against it. I think Mohamed Salah best Premier League wing of all time. Come on. If anyone says different, one season wonder, overrated. He does it every single season. He gives you 20 plus goals every season. He gives you a bunch of assists. He could have had much more assists if Darwin Núñez just finished off his chances. On the left wing, I went with Phil Foden. I don't think I hear Luis Diaz, I understand, but come on, Philly Foden. Philly Foden this season has been giving is the main man. He's the main man of City. Like, yeah, City's not at the top of the league where they normally are at this time of the season, but Phil Foden is a hat trick last night. He scored like two hat tricks already this season. He's got a bunch of goals. He's running the games when he's needed. He steps up to the plate. He scores that goal. Phil Foden, I believe, at this moment, he's the form player of the league. I think he's at this very moment the best player in the Prem. Phil Foden, he's just. I think this season he's finally stepping into his own. He's becoming his own, and he's finally showing what he is. And Pep Guardiola's trusting him a bit more, playing him a bit more. And Phil Foden had patience with him all those seasons, not playing that much. And Phil Foden, he's just stepping up. And then up front, the leading scorer of the league, Erling Haaland. Listen, Imia, what's the role of a car? What's the role of a car? The role of a car is to drive. What's the role of Erling Haaland? He's to score goals. He's the leading scorer of the Premier League. Yeah, he's not. I understand you. He doesn't offer you much, but I hear Roy Keane's player. He's a League Two player, but in this team, you only need to give him tap-ins. If Salah can make those runs from the right hand side, Phil Foden creates from the left hand side. You give him the ball, he'll finish it. He'll put it in the back of the net. I mean, he's not played all games. He's been injured for a few games, and he's still the leading scorer of the Prem. I think Erling Haaland. Listen, I hear the Darwin shout. If Darwin just finished more of his chances and had a few more goals, I would put Darwin in as well. Believe me, I'm a huge fan of Darwin. I mean, Darwin, he's performing, but Haaland, he's doing what he's needed to do, and that's to score goals. his role on the team is to score goals and finish off those opportunities. And that's why I've Erling Haaland in the team. And as manager, I've also gone with Jurgen Klopp. I mean, Jurgen Klopp, it's his farewell tour. I would love him to stay a few more seasons, believe me. And I mean, who's top of the league? Liverpool's top of the league. Oh, not at the moment because we have to play Sheffield United tonight. But
Yeah,
if we win tonight, we'll be top of the league. And that means Jurgen Klopp has been done the best. And like I said, last season we were terrible. He changed the whole midfield and we found a way to get back into title contention. For me, it's Jurgen Klopp, no questions asked. So yeah, that's my 11. Let us know in the comments whose 11 you reckon is better, mine or Emir's. We have different opinions here. Like obviously Emir went with the Liverpool front three, but it is what it is. So yeah.
yeah. Lot of differences in the 11, but yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below who you think is your best title race 11 out of the three teams. Then, William, I think let's move on to fourth, fifth, and sixth place finishes for the European spots. In fourth place, I've gone with Tottenham above Aston Villa. I think Tottenham will edge them just purely based on the fact that Villa still have to go to the Emirates and face Arsenal, and they still welcome Liverpool at Villa Park on the second last day of the season. There are 2 points ahead of Tottenham. Tottenham have a game in hand, though. Also, as well, Tottenham have to welcome City to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and they have to travel to Anfield, and they face Arsenal in a North London derby. Huge games for both Villa and Tottenham. But if one of them get a result out of those big games, it's more likely Tottenham, in my opinion, to get a result, especially because like City have a poor record at the
Oh,
Tottenham
terrible.
Hotspur Stadium.
Terrible.
So I've gone with Tottenham in fourth. Then I've given the fifth position to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And then in the number 6 spot, I've gone with Man United. I think there's a lot of hate around them this season. They haven't been up to their usual standards, but I think in the run-in, they're a big club. They know these players know what they need to do. So I think I give them the edge in the 6th spot to get the European place. Obviously, with the new Champions League format coming in, there's obviously a lot of changes around. There might be 5 Premier League teams this year in the Champions League, but let's see what happens. But I think that's my top 6.
Oh yeah. I agree 100% with everything you said. I believe Tottenham will get a result at City and the Emirates because I mean against City and against Arsenal. Sorry for that. And I don't think they'll get a result at Anfield. I mean, even if it's a draw or a win against Arsenal and City, I believe they will get a result because I believe, and that's why I think Liverpool will win the league as well because of Tottenham having to play Arsenal and City at home. And that's why I got Liverpool to win the league. But I also believe with Tottenham finishing fourth, I just think it's inevitable. I think Villa having to play Liverpool as well. Liverpool, I mean, yeah, they're playing Liverpool at home, but I think second last game of the season, Liverpool will be desperate of a win there, and I believe they will pull it off. Then I got Villa as well as fifth, and Man U at six as well. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's gonna happen. We'll see obviously how it turns out at the end, but I think it's inevitable that that's the lineup and that's what will happen. So yeah.
Okay, and then just quickly as well, give me your top 3 prediction. Number 1 to number 3, who's finishing first, second, and third in the Premier League this season?
So I did a little bit of a points tally up. I got Liverpool finishing on 90 points. I believe they will have a draw against Man U. It pains me to say it, but I think Man U will park the bus. And
Okay,
I might be wrong because they didn't do it at the FA Cup, but I think because Man U will rather let Liverpool not win the league. So I got Liverpool finishing on 19, also draw at West Ham, I believe, but the rest all wins.
okay,
Listen, I hope it's all wins, but
yeah,
Premier League is not that easy. Then I got
mm,
City and Arsenal both finishing on 87. So I believe Arsenal will lose at Tottenham and they will draw against Wolves away because playing at Wolves is a difficult game.
yeah,
And then I believe,
Molyneux.
oh yeah, it's a difficult game. Then I got City to draw against Tottenham and Brighton. So then it's 87 both points. And then Arsenal will
Okay,
probably finish second on goal difference, but that's what I got. And you?
I agree with you as well. I haven't tallied up the points totals, but I think Liverpool finishing first. I think it's going to be close. I predict it's going to go down to the last day of the season. Definitely. I just think City have the know-how to challenge in a title, even though they are, as Pep said, the third favorites. I think he's trying to create the underdog story here, take the
Oh
pressure
yeah,
off his team. But I think City are going to push Liverpool all the way. Arsenal have definitely matured more from last season. I mean, even last night against Luton, 2-0 win. It's not a dazzling result, but the 2-0 win is a 2-0 win. 3 points
yeah.
in the
Three
bag,
points
clean
in the
sheet,
bag.
and it ups their goal difference as well. They have amazing goal difference at the moment. Maybe that might come into play. I don't know, but I really hope Liverpool win the title this season, and I'm going to back the boys on Jurgen's farewell season. And then for my relegation spots, I've gone with the relegation spots exactly as they are at the moment. Sheffield in 20th spot, and then Burnley 19th, Luton 18th. I think if one of them are to stay up, it will be Luton. The only reason I think they won't stay up is because Nottingham Forest have exceptional players. I mean, I watched them 2 evenings ago against Fulham. Morgan Gibbs-White, what a player. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
surprised he doesn't play for a bigger team than Nottingham Forest. Callum Hudson-Odoi really stepping up. Even Chris Wood doing exceptionally at Nottingham Forest at the moment. And then Everton as well. Um, by the way, these predictions are taking into consideration that there are no point deductions anymore for any teams, and that the deductions stay the same as they are at the moment. If anything like that comes into play again, then obviously it can change a lot of things. But I think Everton stay up as well. Sean Dyche doesn't always play the most attracting football, but a point at St James's Park against Newcastle, not bad. And I think they will stay up this season. They know how to grind out the results. So what's your prediction for the
Yeah, I
relegation
agree. I
battle?
agree with Burnley and Sheffield to fall out, but I actually think Luton will stay up. And I'm saying
Okay.
this because I've looked at the fixtures of both, and I believe Luton have the easier fixtures coming up to the end of the season. Like Forest have to play City. Chelsea not been in good form, but still, Chelsea's a tough game, I believe, and I think Chelsea will get a result there. Wolves and Spurs, I think that's tough games. And Luton's only real one that's a struggle will be City.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, listen. I hope Luton stays up. I think it's good for the Premier League that Luton stays up, and that it's different three teams coming down than the three that went up. So
Agree.
I believe Luton. I hope Luton will stay up. I think there might be a bit of bias here, but I went with Luton to stay up. So yeah, that's it. So let's
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
that's
So
what I think
to
will
round off
happen.
the episode, I think we've got a few more minutes left for some blind ratings. William is going to give me some options to choose from. I have no idea what the category is or which players or whatever he's going to give me. So I'm going to try and do my best. Obviously, do your blind ratings in the comments as well, and let's see who gets the best ranking. So William, tell us about the blind rankings. What are
So
what are we
so
saying?
we're starting with an easy one today because we're always going to end the episode with a blind ranking. I think.
Yeah.
So we're starting with the easy one. It's going to be players this season. So you got to rank
Okay.
them 1 to 5 without knowing
Okay.
who's coming next. So
Okay.
I got
Okay.
5 players here. You got to rank them without
Okay.
knowing who's coming next. So
Okay.
we're going to
Give
start
me.
with
Okay. Let's start.
Cole Palmer.
Ooh, Cole Palmer, excellent season at Chelsea. Really, really stepped up at City. Was a fringe player. At Chelsea, is the star man. I'm gonna put Cole Palmer in second place. I think
In
there's a shot.
second place. Fair enough.
Cole Palmer, I think he needs to be in the Euro squad as well. So Cole
Oh yeah,
Cole Palmer in second place.
Cole Palmer. And then
Yes.
second player, Watkins.
Ollie Watkins, great season as well at Villa. Forms not gone down, but slowed down slightly. I'm gonna put Ollie Watkins in fourth spot.
In fourth spot,
Yes.
Phil Foden.
Do you know what? I'm gonna put Phil Foden in third. I think Cole Palmer's had a better season than Phil Foden.
Really?
I've
Even
yes,
though
I think
Chelsea's been that bad, because Phil Foden's been the star man for City, he's been for Cole Palmer being better than Phil. Okay, fair enough.
yes, but look at the teams. Look at the teams. Like Cole Palmer has shown in a mediocre, a bottom half of the table Chelsea side. Cole Palmer has arguably been one of the best midfielders this season. Coming to the side, taking penalties.
Okay.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
without Cole Palmer, where would Chelsea be?
Oh yeah, no way.
Gone.
So
Without
you're
Phil
Southgate.
Foden, City would obviously be in the title challenge as well without Foden.
If
So
you were Southgate, who do you play? Cole Palmer or Phil Foden?
at the moment, I think Phil Foden just because he's a more proven player, but I think Cole Palmer.
Yeah, it has to be Foden. It has to be
I
Foden.
think, but for the Premier League season, I think Cole Palmer has been a more standout player for me this season than Phil Foden.
Okay, 2 players left.
Yes.
Mohamed Salah. So you got
Oh,
1 and 5 left. 1 and
yes. I've done myself in a bit here. I think I'm gonna go outrageous. I'm gonna go Mo Salah in fifth. I think all
in
the
fifth.
players, yes, because I think honestly, like Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, and Ollie Watkins have, I think, and it's due to the fact that Salah was injured and AFCON. I think if Liverpool win the title this season, then I'm gonna reflect back on this and be shocked. But I think that as an individual season, I'm gonna put an individual performances as well. Salah has scored goals, but he's not been at his best in my opinion.
Okay.
United in the FA Cup, poor performances, even against Brighton. Yes. Okay. Who's gonna be my number one?
Bukayo Saka.
Okay, Bukayo Saka as my number one player this season, even though I put Salah above him as the right wing for the season. So it's not gone that greatly for me. But
okay.
So number one, Bukayo Saka. Number 2, Cole Palmer. 3, Phil Foden. 4, Ollie Watkins. 5, Mohamed Salah.
Oh, that's outrageous. But guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.
Thanks for the first episode. This is hopefully the first of many more to come. Please hit the bell button, subscribe, turn on your notifications, hit the like button as well. Please share this podcast to all your friends that might be interested. Leave any comments or recommendations in the comment section below, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys.
Yes, guys. Have a good one.